In this episode, I'm headed to the desert since the majority of forests are closed in California. I'm going to Nevada in an effort to escape the haze and smoke from all the wildfires here in California. My destination is the Valley of Fire State Park, but first I have to attend drill in Fresno. My California State Guard unit is supporting the National Guard unit that is actively involved in the Creek Fire near Shaver Lake.
We were asked to go and check on a location for evacuees in the area, but with the weather the way it is right now, we really couldn't get into that zone where we needed to get to, so we had to turn back to base.
So when you guys were counting down, 3, 2, 1, water's away. That's why I was releasing it at 2, is because I knew that there's a second delay, so I'm already opening the valve, and that's why you start seeing a trickle when you're still counting. But when you finally say water away is when the big amount of water would drop. And that's also what was letting me do the split drop, where I would drop a little bit of it here, stop it, and then drop it again.
Hey, nice hooch. I see you made yourself a home away from home.
Yes,
right
sir.
Here with your cot and everything. Great. All right, have a good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good duty.
I left Fresno the next morning at 0300 hours and made it to the desert as the sun was coming up. I'm meeting my wife's parents in Las Vegas for one night before heading into the Valley of Fire. The next morning, I left the city and went deeper into the desert. These 3 cabins were built by the Civilian Conservation Corps soon after the Valley of Fire became a state park in 1935. They are constructed of native sandstone and were used for many years to shelter campers and travelers visiting the park. I will have to find somewhere else to stay. Approximately 9,000 people visited the newly established Valley of Fire State Park in 1936. Today, several hundred thousand visitors enjoy the park each year. Today is Monday, September 14th, 2020. I'm in the Valley of Fire State Park, which is in Nevada. It's about an hour's north of Las Vegas. I decided to come to the desert to escape all the fires in California and get away from the smoke for a while. Millions of years ago, this tree likely grew with others of its kind in a forest several miles from here. Later, floodwaters carried the fallen log to this area where it was buried beneath thousands of feet of silt, sand, and sea deposits. Here it slowly changed to stone. These are ancient petrified sand dunes that look like beehives. It's Tuesday morning, September 15th, 2020. It's about 6 o'clock. I'm guessing it's about, 75 or 80 degrees. This is where I decided to sleep last night. This Bananarama thing over here didn't quite work out. It was great for a nap in the afternoon yesterday, but there's no way I could have slept in that all night. I toss and turn too much, and just the angle of the banana, it didn't work out. I'm gonna get up, get packed, try and shoot some content of the sunrise over the mountains, and find an epic spot to have a bowl of cereal. This looks like a good breakfast spot. Elephant Rock. This iconic arch is regarded as one of the single most attractive features in Valley of Fire State Park. Petrified sand dunes in the park have weathered into millions of unique forms and holes, with many thousands of arches or see-throughs. This bridge was built and used by movie makers on the set of Star Trek Next Generations. Apparently it's the location where Captain Kirk was killed by the evil Soren on the planet Viridian 3. John Clark was born in Canada in 1844. He enlisted as a private in Company F of the New York Infantry in 1862, serving actively in the Civil War. After being shot in the hand and contracting typhoid fever, he was honorably discharged on March 6, 1863, as a sergeant in Company B of the New York Cavalry. Following his discharge, Sergeant Clark immigrated to Southern California. While traveling from Bakersfield to Salt Lake City on a buckboard, he stopped near this spot, tied his horse to the back of the wagon, and wandered around, possibly looking for water. Eventually, he crawled under his buckboard and died, presumably from thirst. His body and the body of his horse were found on June 30th, 1915. In fact, according to my map, he was pretty close to finding water. There's a spring about 5 miles down this wash, which runs parallel to the memorial. This was built in 1965 for the movie The Professionals. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be. I hope it's cooler in there. Whew, it's like 20 degrees cooler in here. The trail down Petroglyph Canyon to Mouse's Tank is easy for most visitors, and the scenery includes walls covered with ancient petroglyphs. Mouse's Tank is a natural rainwater collection pool, which got its name from an outlaw called Little Mouse, who hid in these canyons and was known to use this and other pools to obtain water. I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but there's Native American rock art dating back 2,000 to 4,000 years ago. It's scratched into the black surface of the rock. There's definitely a lot of places to hide out here, especially if you're a little mouse. I wonder if that's how he got his name, because he was hard to find. I found the tank. Mouse's Tank is named after Mouse, an outlaw who used this natural water basin as a refuge for drinking water. The collected water gave him relief as he spent days and even months hiding out. What I want to know is, how did he climb out? This is atlatl rock. An atlatl is a throwing stick or a dart thrower used by ancient tribes to give more force to their darts or spears. It was usually a wooden stick about 2 feet long with a handhold on one end and a hook on the other end. A slot cut in the tail end of the dart was set against the nook, allowing the dart to lie along the atlatl so that both could be grasped midway of the dart by the user. These petroglyphs have existed for over 4,000 years. Ancient drawings are a reflection of the past and the lifestyles of the Native American cultures. Although we don't know exactly the meaning of the images, this art reflects the thoughts of these people. If you'd like to try and decipher the meaning of this petroglyph, please make a comment below. I had a full 12-hour day in the 110-degree heat and was able to explore all areas of the park. Instead of camping, I decided to go back into the city to soak in a nice cool bath, plus I needed to do research on any nearby ghost towns. Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 16th, 2020, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm trying to find a ghost town near Nelson, Nevada. I typed it into my Garmin GPS and was directed to or through a test range. Right now I'm trying to find an alternate route to the ghost town without getting blown up. Well, it looks like I found it. The hardest part about finding gas in a ghost town is finding a pump that has a hose. I think that one rock outcropping looks like a fist coming up out of the mountain.
Of course, in the 1800s, in the summertime, the miners would sleep in here. Excuse me. These wooden pipelines fed water to the camp. Still used underneath cities like Seattle, Chicago, LA. Geologists tell me with iron and quartz, that's a good indicator of gold and silver's in there, because over 90% of the time on the planet, this is where we find gold. So wherever the veins go, shafts and tunnels go, so they branch off like spokes on the wheel inside the mountain. See the quartz on the wall?
Awesome, right? So cool.
Lean against there and check out the ladder. Hang on to the chain, madam, and you might be able to, yeah, otherwise you're doing that good yoga.
Is that white stripe a vein?
Yeah, that's the bridal veil. You're in the bridal chamber. It's the host rock quartz. Anybody know what the gray stuff is?
Granite.
No, it's one of the things they're mining for. What are they mining for here?
Gold.
Silver. Silver tarnishes, does it not? You have to polish silver. Minute amounts of that acid, hydrogen sulfide in our atmosphere is tarnishing your silver. In these rusty old spots where the iron's located, there's some really smooth rock. And if you want to feel it, you can. There's some smooth sections here. Why is it so smooth? Go ahead. That's cool. Is that smooth? Like a baby's bottom.
A little rougher, baby.
Yeah. This rock has the same texture as this. This broke apart, slipped and fell, and polished the stone. In other words, you're looking at an earthquake fault line.
Oh.
Last moved 2 days ago.
Really?
10,000 years ago. There's 18 fault lines underneath Las Vegas Valley. 12 of them are active. If you're in Vegas for 4 days, you're in 3 earthquakes. The seismographs at the Hoover Dam tell us that. You just don't feel them. They're deep in the ground. They're under 1 on the Richter. California takes a lot of pressure off of us, and underneath the desert, there's a hard rock. One's a mile deep in places. You need jackhammers and dynamite to get through it. It's called Caliche. 1890, there was a premature explosion. The fellows are going to go, what's that? And want to check it out. So they find a co-worker in the mine and realize the man didn't use the wooden stick. Yeah, he took a gamble and lost this bet. He pushed in the dynamite using his chisel, hit the metal chisel with a metal hammer. When a spark arrived, lit the charge and sent the chisel back. And the rest of the guys quickly realized you do that one time and you're gonna get the point. Is it okay if the lights go off?
Yeah.
Anybody need to be in the lit part of the mine? Everybody okay in dark, closed places?
Let's do it.
Leave us.
Oh, check that out.
Wow.
It's cool.
And this is how they work? Really?